believe that the wisdom is within the people. I started this project to uncover what others have learned along their journey in hopes that it might help somebody else.
Actually, wow, salute. Man, it seems like you had a lot going on, man. It's like I've seen that you went from the Uber days, you went from the fucking, you gotta make it work. And it's like, I don't know how you found, it seemed like you found like a common ground. Like, how have you found like your balance throughout everything right now? Like, what did it take to get there?
I mean, I'll let you know when I get there. I'm definitely, it's this, it's with everyone, you grow every day, you learn every day, as you try to, you should be trying to. But, I mean, going through trial and tribulations, you learn who you are, or you're a true color show, you know what I'm saying? When a man is facing adversity, you're gonna see his true color. So, it's like, what you gonna do?
Barbecue and mildew.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I definitely always had a mindset of trying to progress, trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? So that has always helped me through the tough times.
Yeah. Because
always seeking knowledge on how to progress myself has always gotten me through them bad times, because I'm always talking to somebody, and at the end, I got a great group of friends around me that whenever I do have to, talk about something real or get some advice, so I'm privileged to actually get some good advice. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, you hit a key topic. I've talked to a lot of people who are like, man, I wish I had friends like you do. They're just like, man, I don't have that type of like environment around me, and I didn't realize how really important that was until like I seen other people's like circles, and it's like you're the product of your environment. You're the sum of like the people that you hang out with, like the 5 people that you hang out with the most is like who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So if you hang out with niggas who's like, yo, I'm not doing shit with my life, and those are your 5 friends, none of y'all doing shit.
None of y'all.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But have you said earlier, like, you go through the process of like finding out who you are. Like, do you know who you are right now, you think? Or is it kind of like,
I definitely have an understanding of who my morals, you know what I'm saying? I know how, I know what I base my moves on and my character and, my values. But as far as the total picture, I don't. I'm only 27 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a baby when you think of a full lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely am still growing. I definitely do have dreams and goals to reach, and I feel like once I do reach those dreams and goals, it's going to just continue. They might change in direction or whatnot, but I feel like along that journey, you start learning more about yourself. But I don't think you ever really stop and be like, okay, I know who I am. I don't know.
That's tough. I mean, I felt like, and you might relate to this a little bit too, is that like at a young age, I think we know the most. You know what I'm saying? I think as we get older, like shit, it starts to taint who we are a little bit more. Like you have like your most pure thoughts as like you're in an adolescent situation. As you get older, it's like society gets into it, crazy ass responsibilities get into it, and like all those things influence a lot of times like who you actually were.
Yeah.
And then you begin to become something else.
Yeah.
I think like the real like divinity or whatever you want to call this, like those who can hold on to that adolescence throughout that whole wave of getting older and all that. Mm-hmm. Do you have like a vision of who you were as you were younger, and do you still see like young Zay today still? Or has that person kind of like, I don't know who that is, you know what I'm saying?
Nah. I feel like you always, as far as, who you are, I don't feel like that really changes. Just the way you perceive things and the way you receive things changes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're a kid, everything you get thrown to you is the first time. You know what I'm saying? When you're facing a tough decision, or when you're facing adversity for the first time in kindergarten or whatever, you just look at it differently, because it could be your first time. It's innocence, it's naive, it's curiosity. You know what I'm saying? It's all of that. You know what I'm saying? When you're older, you're still that same person. You're still that same. You know what I'm saying? If you took it positive at 5-year-old, you're gonna take it positive again. The only thing that might change it is your experiences throughout life. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like, oh, nah, that ain't real. You know, but that initial reaction is gonna be that same, and then he's gonna, nah. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I don't know.
That's tough. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy when you say it's kind of like, you know, I asked, like, do you know who you are? And you're like, well, I don't really, you know, how do you really know that? And I feel like if you have to think about it too much, then maybe. But if you can, again, if you can channel in that adolescence, I think you really can figure that out. Like, I'll give you the example. Like, I think I fought more against accepting who I am and who I was than who I became. And what I mean by that is that when I was younger, I was like always into like psychology. I was always into people. I was always into why you did. I want to know why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting with my grandmothers and like everybody else is like out playing and stuff like that. I want to sit inside and talk to you, Nana. Like, and she, you know, they gonna give me the gospel. And I want to know, like, when you were my age, can you remember like what you really went through? Like, I want to know that. You know what I'm saying? And it may sound weird, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I didn't understand how to translate that into the next thing. Like, how can I translate what I like or who I am naturally, essentially, into something as far as like a career or a passion? And I always kind of fought it, you know? It was also kind of like, you know, you go through different schools and stuff like that. I'm a military brat. So I went through like different schools and stuff like that. And you try to figure out who you are. And you're like, man, I guess I should be this way because that's what everybody else is kind of doing, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I should do this. And you kind of realize, like, that's really not who you are. So when you find a group of people who accept you for who you are and they try to push you further in who you are and accept you, that's the most beautiful fucking thing. That's why I love that, you know, with Debonair, we have that. But the example, again, is just saying that I knew that at a very young age. I tried to deny it or I tried to push it off and think that there was something else more to it. And I kind of overthought it. So in my mind, I figured that I think you might have the same trait. You know what I'm saying? Like, the rap you did was dope as fuck. You know, so it's like, maybe there could be something with that.
Yeah.
And you kind of say, well, I'm kind of like, I'm just chilling on the music, you know what I'm saying? I could do it, but you know, I'm kind of like, maybe that really could be maybe naturally when you was like 5, I was writing raps since I was 5, for real. Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely, as far as like music wise, I've always had a, you know, natural thing with it, is a connection with it. You know, so I've always been around it. My uncle, he used to always beatbox. That was his thing, was beatboxing.
Yeah.
So every time, you know, he would get drunk or something, he would always just pull me and just like start doing different beatboxing, and he was actually good with it. So it was like that introduced me to the different beats, and I started beatboxing. So it got me into just listening to different beats and you know, understanding that. And I mean, my earliest memory with that was like 5 years old, back in Ohio. You know,
good old Ohio.
So I mean, but you know, and then my other uncle, he's actually in art. You know, he does you know, Spanish music, reggaeton, or you know, just kind of singing.
Let me tell you about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's always had a connection with music, so he's always been an influence as well. But so as far as like, you know, having that same kind of interest from younger to now, yeah, definitely.
You think it could be more of like a destiny thing? Like, you're kind of like fighting, not like your natural thing, you're kind of like fighting, and that's like what we all do as people, maybe?
I mean,
that could be a thing. I don't know. I think there's a connection with that for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Opposites attract, like all that type of stuff.
I definitely, I wouldn't say I'm fighting it, you know what I'm saying? Do I feel like I'm going to be something in music as far as working some kind of way in the music industry, as far as, you know, helping another artist, marketing, some kind of way, yeah, because my interest in music is ridiculous. Like, when I'm at home, I'm literally on my TV, I'm just watching videos. I go on YouTube and I have a playlist of videos that I just go through, you know?
Right.
I'm not watching TV shows, so it's like, there's definitely an interest in that. So, you know, recently with the worldwide local hoodie with Debonair District, the commercial that was dropped, you know, when you came to me with the idea with, hey man, just worldwide appeal, local feel, write something with that idea, you know, it was like I was just writing with that idea for the purpose of the commercial. There wasn't really hey, I'm about to be a rapper. I'm writing this as a song.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Like I literally just went to YouTube, searched. I was already like listening to the Erykah Badu On and On beat, repeat.
Right.
For like a minute now. So I was like, man, let me just go to that beat. You know, so I just wrote a little verse of that beat for the commercial. And then I mean that was that. But the feedback I've been getting
It's been crazy.
has definitely showed me that there's something there. You know, there's something
wild.
there. So it's definitely inspired me to try to, you know, go further into it and, you know, see what would happen. But I definitely have other goals and you know, visions I want to do. I wouldn't say rapping is like I'm about to go full force all in. I'm about to be a rapper, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to dropping like a 5-song EP.
You got to.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Just to do it.
Yeah.
Like why not? You know what I'm saying? I feel like anybody that has something to say should do it. Like it's art, just create. You know, like there's no limit to what you should be doing. You know.
So what do you have to say?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Nah, you know.
my story.
I think
You know what I'm saying? My
Yeah,
story,
yeah,
my
yeah.
experiences. I mean, whether it's somebody likes it or not, I mean that's
I mean, that's
you know,
that's subjective.
that's
right?
subjective. So I mean,
That's what art can. Yeah.
you know, I feel like everybody went through their own story. Everybody's been through their own mud. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their pain. You know,
Right.
so it's like, is do I feel like I can say it in a way that people can relate? You know what I'm saying? That's that battle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and and say it to where people want to hear, like want to listen to you. Cause you can't just be sounding crazy, cause you know. But
Yeah.
you know, but
I don't think you would sound crazy. I mean, the commercial speaks for that. Like you don't sound crazy at all.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's more
Appreciate
so
it.
for you to just. And I'm not trying to tell you how to live by no means, but you know, I can only speak from my own, you know, my own trials. And it's like the more that I don't fight it, and like I try to find that flow, like everything works out.
Yeah.
It really works out. And the more I try to understand that, the better things truly go. And I guess now I want to ask you the same thing. But like, let's say like you're faced with a decision, like, you know, it could be the simplest thing. Like sometimes you can not want to go out and everybody else is going out, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you might want to stay home for real, but you kind of get like the egging from everybody else, like, man, we gotta go out, bro. We gonna blah, like whatever, right? And you're like, man, I kind of want to sit at home. Like I don't really want to do that, right?
yeah,
And you have to have a discussion, you know, with your heart and with your mind, and they'll both tell you different things, you know. And that's like I had to understand that from I asked her that question before she passed too, like understanding like your heart and your mind talking. But sometimes your heart would tell you like, I really don't feel like going out. I just want to chill. And your mind's like, man, fuck it, go out, you know, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you listen to your mind, you just go, and then you go out and you realize like,
you should just
wow,
stay at the crib.
why am I here? You know what I'm saying? So like,
Definitely.
so do you think you know how to communicate between your heart and your mind when it comes to decisions like that? And like, do you know how to like flow when it comes to decision making for things that might come natural to you? You know?
Definitely.
Like, do you think you got that right now, or do you still kind of like, you don't always get it? You know?
I mean, as far as like, you know, knowing what kind of situations I want to be in, I definitely understand that. You know, I could definitely be like, nah, I'm not trying to be in that kind of environment. You know, I don't like being in. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily just crowded environments, but I'm not trying to be in
Well, more so just like just decision making in general.
decision making.
In general, it's kind of like you can be influenced by some stuff, but you have to know you have to learn the language of the heart. And it's like
Definitely.
it takes a while to understand your heart. Like I'm trying to see if you understand like the language of your heart.
I guess I kind of look at it differently then. I guess because you know what I'm saying, how you're putting it is in your heart and your mind, and I guess I kind of see it. You know, I guess you kind of be similar to it, but just like, you know, that voice in your head, I consider that your higher conscious. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like your flesh and who you are on it as a person versus that higher conscious in your head. You know what I'm saying? That person in your head that knows better. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So
Yeah.
it's like when you do come to that battle, I feel like that's what that battle is between. It's between that person that's been living on this earth that makes mistakes and, you know what I'm saying, is learning, bumping, and got bruises on them,
Right,
and then you
right.
got that person that's in your mind like, look, man, you know better, you should know this, and always putting that. You know what I'm saying? When you are down and you think to yourself like, man, I knew better. That's that person in your head like, yeah, you did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's where I feel like that battle is at. And I guess it could be the same thing. We just use two different ways of saying it.
Descriptions, yeah.
But I definitely I'm closer with that, and I feel like that comes through finding yourself in the spiritual way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yes, I definitely feel like I am closer with that, and just going through life, trial and tribulations, and just being aware. Always knowing, okay, this is why I'm messing up. You know what I'm saying? This is what's messing me up. Being aware of it and trying to change it. Yeah, it might take a couple times. You might be a hard-headed person or whatever, but just knowing, okay, this is what I gotta do. As long as you know that, you know what I'm saying, you'll be straight, man.
You think you hit rock bottom?
Have I hit rock bottom?
I know you went through some shit. You know what I'm saying? But was that rock bottom, you think?
I mean, I would say. Don't you always feel like you always at rock bottom every time you really going through something? It's like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it out.
To a certain degree.
It's like,
To a certain degree.
you really just gotta. Rock bottom is more of just a mind frame. It's a mind state. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the whole life is a mind state. That's a whole, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, I've definitely hit rock bottom as far as doubting myself and, putting myself down, and instead of I should be picking myself up and, encouraging myself. So I've definitely hit rock bottom as far as that. But that just comes with life and, learning how to pull yourself out of those moments. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I said, man, that just comes with that whole spirituality, finding yourself. You know what I'm saying? Whichever way it is.
You gotta figure out what it is.
Whichever way it is, but you gotta figure out how it is for you, man. And if that ain't the truth, what it is, man. I'm taking a drink to that.
Hey, I mean, I would say this then. It's like, I feel like for somebody like yourself, you kind of got most of the things. I think most people would say you kind of got it together. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like control, somebody said to me the other day, who was it? It was Sarah. Sarah said it, and she said that when it comes to like what you project as far as like being in control of like your emotions, she was like, you have a really, really strong sense of control over your emotions. And a lot of times your emotions can really dictate a lot about a person.
Yeah.
You can wear it on your sleeve and people are like, yo, this one, you always angry all the time. Why you always, you know what I'm saying? But they're trying to like, maybe they're trying to just speak like they're not being listened to. And like, this is their way of trying to speak out so that way they can be heard and understood. You know what I'm saying? Whatever
Frustration.
it could be that. You know what I'm saying? So, when she had mentioned that, I had to like really sit back and be like, I guess I kind of do, I'm always kind of like calm for the most part.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're the same way. You be going through everything, but you still walk through with the cool Zay, the cool, you know what I'm saying? But then we can talk about some shit for real, and you be like, man, look, you break this down for you, I'm going through this, whatever. But like, you would never really know on the surface,
I mean, that just comes with me understanding that everybody goes through their own stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who am I to say what I'm going through is worse than what you're going through? You know what I'm saying? Who are you to say what you're going through is worse than what I'm going through? Because, at the end of the day, it's a hump that somebody has to get over. No matter how big that hump is, it could be the biggest hump to them. You know what I'm saying? So you still have to get yourself right mentally at the end of the day.
Right.
And that's the biggest hurdle.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Because anybody can get money if they really trying to. If that's the financial struggle, if that's the struggle you're going through,
right?
There's ways to get money out here,
right?
But you gotta mentally. Oh damn. Oh, that work right there is beneath me. I'm not gonna work there.
Right.
That's mentally. Exactly. That's money, bro. Oh, so you gotta be broke. Oh,
then
okay.
Have something coming in.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, everybody has to get over that mental that hurdle. So me understanding that, who am I to be
Yeah.
walking around with my emotions and, you know what I'm saying, carrying that energy around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to, when I'm going out, when you see me out, I'm trying to get positive vibes. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to be tossing negative vibes around? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Shouldn't be. I mean, but
I always try to, you know.
yeah.
Like I said, man, everybody going through their stuff, man. We out here just trying to have fun. We out here trying to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
So
It's
I just
easier
be
said
chilling,
than,
man. I
it's
just be
easier said
chilling.
than done, though. It's easier said than done.
You gotta learn.
And I feel like, you know, I guess we're blessed to be able to understand that, you know, by who we were raised by or just, you know, what we were born with, whatever it was. You know, we're able to understand that, you know?
Definitely.
But you understand that some people are really out here, like, just ravaged by, like, everything's coming down on me. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, you know, I pray 10 times a day. I go to church. Like, I pay my tithes. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, whatever it is for them, you know.
Yeah, I understand that because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I've even as altogether people, you know, as whatever a person might look, you know, who's to say what they doing when they home alone? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you definitely have those moments where you can get caught up in that negativity and just get, you know, that because it's crazy when it's all in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because only you can stop it. You know what I'm saying? If you beating yourself up,
Yeah.
ain't nobody gonna help you out if you can't get it right in your head. So yeah, man. I mean, I just try to definitely, man, like put out what I would like to receive. You know what I'm saying? Just good vibes, man. I'm real big on energy and just flowing.
Right.
And I do feel like, you know what I'm saying, that energy does transfer between people. You know.
Oh hell yes.
So
yeah,
man. I mean, I'm not trying to transfer any negativity, man. That's all I focus on. And I mean, I don't know, man.
What else can I do?
It works for me. It works for me.
Yeah.
You definitely gotta find your way. That's all it is, man. You gotta find your way. People just gotta they gotta understand it. They gotta know that. Everybody just think they automatically know who they are and they know what they're trying to do. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could have goals. You could have, you know what I'm saying? You could have, you know, I don't know, man. I can't speak on other people.
Exactly. It's different for everybody. And everybody, you can't try to. All things ain't for all people at the end of the day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I will. Let me switch up a little bit. I feel like everything that we're doing right now, in a certain degree, I've come to now believe that predetermination is somewhat real, right? I do feel like we do have the divine right of choice throughout the whole process, but I do feel like in some ways that a lot of things are predetermined, and that when you allow yourself to trust in what you believe in or trust in whatever your higher power is or whatever, things go the right direction. You make the right choices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do feel like we're all a book at the end of the day. So I'm not saying no literal type of thing, but I look at life like in chapters sometimes. I hate that my voice is like breaking right. Anyway, I feel that sometimes that we're living in chapters sometimes, and you go through different stages. You close a different chapter to go to a new thing sometimes. Like you're a father, you know what I'm saying? Like that was a opening chapter,
Definitely.
and then it's like you close the having a child to raising a child.
Definitely.
And you keep on as the ages rack up, new chapters the whole way through. Going to school, dealing with this, dealing with that, whatever.
Definitely.
Like what chapter do you feel that you're in right now? And I guess how are you handling that chapter currently?
I don't know. I had somebody break it down to me. My grandfather, actually, rest in peace.
You still living? Oh man.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
He actually broke it down to me. He said, "Your life is broken down to segments of 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
20 years.
Like your first 20 years, you're educating yourself.
Yeah.
Your second set of 20 years, you're working. Whatever you learned, you're applying it.
Okay.
He said by your third set of your 20 years, he said you want to be chilling. You want to be relaxing.
Yeah.
You want to be reaping the benefits from your work in your 20 years.
Right.
Ideally. That's not how, you know, ideally you would want your life to go. And
That's deep. That's good. Yeah.
I guess that's how I kind of looked at it, because if I look at it as year by year, if I try to go about what did I do this year, you know what I'm saying, 2017, what did I do that year, you know what I'm saying, it's like,
yeah.
I feel like the ads kind of like unnecessary stress, anxiety, you know, unnecessary deadlines for your growth, you know.
Unnecessary. I'm gonna ask you about that. Okay, but continue, please. Yeah.
So I feel like looking at it like that, like it just as a chunk of my life, you know what I'm saying, and just allowing it to naturally end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you come into a new perception of life.
Yeah.
You know when you like when you learn some shit and it really sets in, like, okay, I finally learned this. You know what I'm saying? When you start to see it in your life, like, okay,
wow,
I learned this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that naturally happens. You can't put a chapter on that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah.
when that change happens, you just let it happen.
Yeah.
And you just keep it moving from there on out. You know what I'm saying? And you just work towards that next time that happens. You know what I'm saying? Who should know when that happens, but I know I'm gonna keep learning. I know I'm gonna keep trying to grow until that time does happen, because I know 27 years, you know what I'm saying, this is what this is what I learned so far. Let me, you know what I'm saying, let me see what I can learn in another 27 years, because I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
It's just the beginning.
It's like
it's just the beginning right now.
It's crazy. I'm definitely in my second set of 20 years.
Gotcha. In that whole projection. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? As far as educating myself, you know what I'm saying, he was talking more so of like, you know, school wise. I kind of see myself done with school route, as far as traditional wise.
Yeah. Different for everybody.
So I do see myself I'm in that stage where I'm applying what I have learned already. You know, of course I'm still learning, but I feel like everything I learned from now is going to be from the experiences I do versus from in school, you know. So that's the type of learning I'm going to do, and just the people I bump into, the conversations I have, that's how I'm going to learn from here on out. You know, and just my natural curiosity in life, you know, just reading the book here and there, you know, reading an article there, you know, just
right.
The natural way that you learn, but that's how I look at as far as growing. Just accepting the fact that anybody I meet, any conversation I have, I'm gonna be able to learn from that. You know, no matter what age that person is at, no matter what stage that person is at in their career. You know what I'm saying? Just accept, like, learning and being aware of the fact that you can learn from that.
Yeah.
You know, just knowing that, man. I mean, within a year, if you want to put it on a year, man, you can learn a lot in a year. You know what I'm saying?
You can learn a lot in a day.
In a day, exactly. So
yeah.
I can't really put a time frame on that, man. You gotta just keep going.
One day can change your life.
Exactly.
And one moment can, like, change an infinity. You know what I'm saying? But that's
definitely.
I mean, are you where you want to be? You know, I feel like if it's 20-year spans that you kind of like are balancing with right now, which I have to, like, really, I want to know more about that. I like that resolution, that understanding of what he taught you. Like, are you where you want to be, or do you feel that you where you need to be right now?
It depends on you know, like, if you were speaking to my younger self, you know what I'm saying?
You're still young. What do you mean? Like, what are you saying?
But, like, you know how when you're in high school, you always have to write, oh, what do you want to be in 10 years? You know, the papers you have to write.
Yeah.
You know, I've always had, by 25, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have this. You know, like, if you're going by off of that, I'm definitely not where I want to be.
Right.
But
you where you need to be.
Maybe. You know what I'm saying? And but I know that I can control where I'm going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm not where I'm at where I want to be at right now, but just understanding that every move I make right now is going to put me where I want to be. Mm-hmm. As long as I understand that, and as long as I make that the main focus, and surround myself with people with that same, you know, that's really all you can control. So that's how I'm trying to go about it.
Wow.
But, you know, Yeah, man.
That's hey, let me just get you one more time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
Cause that's some real shit. It's like as much as I want to sit here and say that, I want to be able to say that. I'm understanding a person that's like, what I learned has projected where I know where where I want or whatever it should really be. You know what I'm saying? But to a certain degree, I feel like maybe you live more so like in the moment versus trying to plan everything out all the time.
Definitely.
And I remember having a conversation with you, and we were talking about like it was about and I don't quote me verbatim, but it was loosely over like travel, and I was like, man, I want to go to like Turks and Caicos. I want to go to the beaches in Barbados. I want to go to whatever, right? And you were like, what's wrong with the beach that you got at Clearwater? What's wrong with the beach you got at Sister Key or whatever, right? And I was like, I mean, that's a different kind of vibe. You was like, there's water, there's sand, there's sun. I was like, I mean, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's different, you know what I'm saying? And you were like, yeah, but you know what? I guess you're kind of making a point about like how much emphasis we put on, I guess, things that we think are more than what they are, maybe, or something like that. And it's like you have to, maybe loosely it was about appreciation, and it was just like, yo, appreciate what you already had. You live in Florida, you have umpteen beaches, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was coming from that.
Yeah.
So if you remember that conversation, like I'm hoping that you can kind of expound on that kind of more so with connectivity to based on where you want to be, so to speak.
Yeah.
So where you want to be might be, yo, I want to have a house that can accommodate my family. You know, I want to have at least 2 cars to be able to have one for the family and one for myself. Because I don't think you're like a really gaudy person. You've never been that kind of guy. Yeah. But, you might say I want to have whatever things are, right? So is there a connection with where I want, keyword want to be versus like
what
that,
you already have,
and that appreciation? I guess what's that balance for that? Am I asking the question right?
Nah, I definitely understand. I mean that definitely goes back to the whole flesh and higher conscience battle.
Yeah.
But that definitely, I was told kind of like I guess you would say like a riddle or a joke or a story, whatever you want to call it, but it was a guy, a businessman, very successful businessman, went on a vacation to a small island, and he while he was on the beach, he saw a fisherman, and he was coming home with a whole bunch of fish. He was like a really good fisherman.
Yeah.
Came home with a whole bunch of fish, so he asked him, he was like, hey, he was like, how many times do you go out fishing, and how much do you catch, how much money do you make? So he started asking him, the businessman side. So the fisherman was like, I catch enough. I fish for about 3-4 months, and then I spend the rest of the year with my family, just relaxing on the beach, and just living my life with my grandkids. So the businessman was like, wow, with amount of fish you're catching, if you was to work 12 months throughout the year, imagine the money you could make. You could hire people, to do what you got to do, and he started just pretty much laying out a whole business scheme for him that he could make this a big operation, take it worldwide, and he could be the fisherman king of the world.
Right.
And at the end of his pitch, he was like, and then you'll be able to chill on the beach with your family, spend time with your grandkids. And he pretty much started naming what the old man already was doing. So he was like, why would I work so hard just to achieve what I already have? And fishing was a passion for him. So the fact that he went out fishing wasn't necessarily work for him. That was something that he did,
Right.
Those 3-4 months that he went fishing, that's what he liked to do. So he was already living the life that the man was trying to paint for him that he could get if he just worked that much harder and that much longer and just sacrifice that much more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So of course that's a story, that's a folktale, and in the perfect world everybody would be living that life.
Right.
But that story definitely, you know, helps keep in perspective the whole. Just appreciate what you have right now, you know, because you like everything. If you paint your dream life, your dream life, what would be different? The size of your house, the year of your car, you know what I'm saying? What else would be different?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, appreciate what you have right now, and that'll help you through those tough times, through those times that you're trying to grind it out and thug it out, you know what I'm saying? And then you'll get to that point where you got the lavish stuff. But then you'll realize once you get there, it's not even about that. Because you always hear the rich people say that, right? It ain't about the money.
Right.
You always hear them say that. Of course, we don't know what the hell they talking about.
We ain't had it yet.
We like, man, fuck, all right, give me the money then, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't about the money, shit.
Right.
Let me get a couple, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but, yeah, man, I mean, but if you let that hustle grind mentality run your psyche, just the way you live your day, you'll go crazy, man. You'll go crazy because you'll never have enough. So it's like at some point you're gonna have to just be able to turn that switch and just come into that mode, that mode where you just like looking around and just, damn, I like what I got. You know what I'm saying? I like, you know, and if you don't like what you have at that moment, you know, there's always progression that the person has to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about just becoming aware of your situation and becoming aware of why you're there, what's the problem. Most of the time it's yourself.
Normally.
And a lot of people got problems accepting that, because a lot of people want to point the fingers and, you know, blame circumstances. 'Cause I'm saying I'm guilty of that. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I understand it.
Right.
That's why I can never come around somebody and be like, oh, I'm better than you just because I've been through this, or you don't know I can't do that, man. It's just it's all about just being in the moment and just trying to, if you see a person that's showing that signs of still battling with issues, instead of downing them, just, you know what I'm saying, try to help them progress. You know what I'm saying? Give them a couple gems, not, you know what I'm saying, whenever you can. Not trying to preach to the person, but, you know what I'm saying, whenever you see that they have their ear open, whenever you see that little moment, drop a couple gems to them. And, you know, keep it moving, man, because you definitely can't hold somebody's hand, you know what I'm saying, while you're still going through your own stuff. So
Not at all.
but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, it's I always try to, as much as I always try to learn from people, I always try to teach as well. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter who you are, you can teach anybody. So yeah, man.
I try to tell people that too. I try to. You can learn from a bum.
You can
You
learn,
can learn
bruh.
from anybody.
You can learn from anybody, man. I learn from my daughter every day.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So
They both beautiful, bro. They both, you lucked
Appreciate
out.
it.
You lucked out, boy, because you could have had some little.
yeah, I mean, but then again, I'm gonna have
You
to
know
worry
what I'm
about
saying?
that when they get older.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to worry about having to yoke somebody kids up.
I don't think you'll have that. I think they gonna hold their own. I think you gonna teach them
They
right.
definitely gonna hold their own, but I'm gonna be able to. I'm like, I see what you're doing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? As far as like